So if you're watching this video and you landed on this, you're probably here because you've watched a ton of other videos like this. You've watched a ton of videos on how to improve yourself, how to improve your mindset, how to be successful, and you probably just watch all these videos over and over and over, and you really end up nowhere. It almost just becomes a form of procrastination of just watching video after video, taking no action, and day after day you're in the same spot because videos don't help. But I'm going to show you guys a mindset trick that might sound ridiculous, but it's powerful enough to literally change anything that you are trying to get through. My name is Anthony. I run an Instagram marketing agency and also run a 1 million follower network on Instagram. And I make videos like this to help you take your Instagram account from 0 to hero. So make sure you subscribe because this is the Instagram Hub. So my goal for you on this video is to have you actually walk away learning something that you can apply. You can walk away from this video and you don't have to watch any other ones. You don't have to keep binge watching. You don't have to keep procrastinating, but you can actually take something out of it, see that it makes sense, and then go ahead and run with it. Now, to start this off, I want to do a scenario. If you were at a restaurant and you placed an order and the waiter brought your meal back and it was wrong, most people would usually go ahead and blame the waiter or waitress for messing up the order. If not, maybe you're blaming the cooks in the back of the kitchen. Maybe you pulled into a gas station, put 20 on 4, but the guy at the cash register actually put in 10 on 4. You would probably go ahead and blame him. Maybe you're in a taxi, you tell the taxi to go left and instead he goes right, and then you blame the taxi driver for not listening to you. Now, I could keep listing example after example of different situations, but all of these have the common theme where you would be justified in being mad at the other person, or more importantly, blaming that other person for what they messed up on. Now, I think we can all agree that that's what 99% of people do. In fact, all my life, until I came across this, I always blamed people, especially when it was right to blame them. If my order was messed up when I said it was a certain way, they kind of are to blame. You would be in the right in society's view by blaming that person. But if 99% of people are following that way of life of blaming, you always want to do what people aren't doing. Whatever the 99%, whatever the masses do, the best thing that you can do in almost any area is do the exact polar opposite. So what if instead of blaming that waiter or waitress for messing up your order, you blamed yourself because maybe you could have said it more clearly to her? What if instead of blaming that taxi driver, you blame yourself because you could have plugged in a GPS or you could have said it more clearly? For scenarios like this, it may sound stupid, but I have to bring up these extremes so you can go ahead and get the bigger picture. And what I'm talking about here can be summed up as this, and it is taking complete responsibility for everything that happens in your life, whether or not you are in control of it. Now, this principle or theory, whatever you want to call it, is really touched on 2 main books that I've read. The first one being Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink and Leif Babin. The second one being the 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. Grant Cardone does touch on this in the 10X Rule. And when I first read that, it kind of sounded ridiculous. When I first came across these principles, but it sounded ridiculous to take responsibility for everything that happens in my life. That is not in my control. If my waiter messes up my order, that's not in my control. If my bus is late and that makes me late to work, that's not in my control. Since there are so many things that happen to us day in and day out that are out of our control, how are we supposed to take responsibility for all of these things? More importantly, why should we? What benefit does it give? And that's what I struggled to understand for quite a long time. I couldn't understand the benefit of truly taking responsibility for things that weren't my fault. And this goes into why I use such extreme examples. Of course, going ahead and taking responsibility for something that your waiter or waitress fucks up, or that your taxi driver does not do, or that the cashier rings up wrong, is taking it to an extreme. But if you can take responsibility for little things like that, you'll be willing to take responsibility in anything. And that's when I started seeing the bigger picture of really applying this to life scenarios, be it just your own personal life, be it your business life, be it your sport life, whatever it is. When you take responsibility for everything that happens in your life, whether it is or is not in your control, what happens is you start to actually work through problems. You take yourself out of any type of victimhood mentality. You can no longer put yourself in a box. You can't say that my day was messed up because of this or that, even if it was out of your control, because at the end of the day, you're blaming yourself and you're taking full responsibility. What this allows you to do is at the end of the day, ask questions on what you could have done better. If the bus was late and you couldn't get to work and now you got fired, how could you have not gotten fired this morning? Well, you could have caught the earlier bus and gotten to work 30 minutes earlier. Is it an inconvenience? Yeah, it might be, but at the end of the day, if you did do that, you'd still have your job, you would have got to work on time, you wouldn't have been fired, and you'd be in full responsibility. A lot of people going through life only take responsibility for their wins, all the times they got good marks, all the times they did good, all the times they excelled, but rarely ever will they take responsibility for when they hit rock bottom. Rarely will they take responsibility when they lose, and the point of this principle is to take responsibility for it all. Take it for your wins, take it for your losses, take it for things in your control, and take it for things that are out of your control. Let's say you were flipping Instagram accounts, because this happened to me a ton back in the day, and I used to blame people. I would get scammed flipping Instagram accounts all the time when I didn't really know what I was doing. And I would blame it on assholes, I'd blame it on scammers, I'd blame it on everybody but myself. But once I started blaming myself, if I did blame myself at the time, I could have started asking myself questions that would help me not get scammed. Like, why did I get scammed? Why did this person do this? What could I have looked for beforehand? Instead, when you lump yourself into this victimhood mentality, what happens is you just sit there and you blame so you cannot improve. When you blame yourself, the only way you can win after is by improving, and that's why this principle literally forces you to succeed. It forces you to improve yourself. If there's nobody to blame but you, it's just you in the mirror at the end of the day, each and every single day, then it's all on you, and you must improve. Did you get fucked over in a business deal? Your fault. Were you scammed out of $5,000? Your fault. Did your girlfriend cheat on you? Your fault. In any of those types of situations, when you blame the other person or you blame anybody other than yourself, it ends there. Your improvement ends there. When you blame yourself, you get to ask, what could I have done better? How could I have avoided this? How could I have avoided this 3 months earlier? How could I have been more aware that this was happening? And that, my friends, is how you can literally force yourself to succeed. If there's one thing that they should teach people in school over and over, it is this, and that is assuming responsibility for everything that happens in your life. If any of you guys are a regular subscriber of this channel, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's a little bit different. If you're new here and you like this, I hope you did. Make sure you drop it a like, make sure you drop it a comment down below. Let me know what you think. And subscribe to the channel. I typically make Instagram videos that go over how to grow, how to monetize, how to make money online, but I do want to start incorporating some more of these videos because these videos also play a big role into having a profitable Instagram business, and you can't have one without the other. With all that said, keep grinding, keep hustling, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all on the next one.